It's Wednesday, May 14th. In the headlines, National Insurance pensioners to get increase come July. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness calls for stronger collaboration between agriculture and tourism sectors. In business news, Tropical Battery offers new shares for sale. Regionally, in Trinidad and Tobago, the new Public Administration and Artificial Intelligence Minister charts digital future at Caribbean Spectrum Conference. In sports, Cricket West Indies confirms squad for England tour. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Pensioners under the National Insurance Scheme, NIS, are set to see increased benefits. During his contribution to the 2025-2026 sectoral debate in the House of Representatives on Tuesday, Labour and Social Security Minister Pernell Charles Jr. revealed that pensions for retirement, widows, widowers, and invalidity will rise from $4,200 to $4,620 per week. Danita Rodney has the details from his presentation.
As at March 31, 2025, the National Insurance Fund boasts an increase, an increase in the net asset value from approximately $194 billion in March 2024 to $227 billion in March 2025. Mr. Speaker, good management, good government. This represents a 17% increase over last year. And in light, hear me now, hear ye, in light of the performance of the NIF, and based on the recent actual review, I am pleased to announce to Jamaica that all National Insurance Scheme pensioners will receive an increase in their benefits.
Pensioners currently receiving $3,500 per week will see an increase to $3,850, while those receiving $3,000 will now receive $3,300 per week. Other key increases include retirement old age, widows, widowers, and invalidity grants will increase from $60,000 to $65,000. Special child and orphan pensions will rise from $6,000 per week to $6,600. Special child and orphan grants will move from $75,000 to $80,000. Employment injury benefits will rise from $4,200 to $4,620 per week. Funeral grants will go from $150,000 to $160,000. Additionally, the maternity allowance, which is linked to the national minimum wage, will also see an increase. Sugar workers' pensions will increase from $3,000 to $3,300.
That the maternity allowance, which is pegged to the national minimum wage, will see domestic workers receiving also an increase to $16,000 effective June 1, 2025. All the other increases, Mr. Speaker, will take effect, as I said, April 1, with payments beginning in August 2025.
Charles also notes that the health insurance benefit for NIS pensioners, known as NI Gold, will see an increased benefit level starting July 1, 2025. Minister Charles says in the upcoming year, the National Insurance Fund will focus on high-priority initiatives.
The continued revision and implementation of investment policies aimed at minimizing risk exposure. We'll continue the strategic review and realignment of the fund's real estate assets to improve overall portfolio performance, and the development and renovations of key properties to align with market demand, compliance standards, and to ensure operational efficiency.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is emphasizing the need for Jamaica to build a commercial ecosystem that encourages long-term investment in agriculture, aiming to enhance national production and support the island's thriving tourism industry. Speaking at the opening of the Caribbean Poultry Association's 8th International Technical Symposium and Exhibition in New Kingston on Tuesday, he stated that with over 4 million visitors coming to Jamaica annually, it is crucial for the agriculture and tourism sectors to collaborate in order to provide an authentic experience that includes locally sourced food.
The critical point here is that we must be able not only to feed our local population, but we should be able to feed 100% all the people who visit.
The Prime Minister highlighted the success of the poultry industry, which has used long-term supply contracts as a model that other sectors could adopt.
The model that has been developed and has worked so well in the poultry industry is that you give your farmers long-term supply contracts so they can make upfront the investment and know it will be secured in terms of the recovery of that investment over time.
Dr. Holness notes that significant capital investments are often required for controlled farming practices that can withstand the cyclical nature of agriculture.
What I've said to the Minister of Agriculture and the Minister of Tourism is that we have to get our hotel operations to engage our farmers with long-term supply contracts. We have to create the commercial ecosystem that supports the long-term investment of farmers, that gives them that certainty and security of return so that they can invest in increasing output.
Additionally, the Prime Minister notes the lack of aggregators in large-scale agricultural ventures as a challenge to expanding long-term supply contracts to farmers.
We tend to look at agriculture in very simplistic ways. You just need rain and good soil. But if you're going to look at it from a commercial standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, from being able to expand, you need the endurance of massive capital investments that will mitigate the ebbs and flows, the ups and downs, and the cyclical nature of agriculture. And the only way to do that is to have controlled farming. And to have controlled farming, you have to have large investments in whether it is irrigation, whether it is controlled environment and temperatures, or grow houses.
He also acknowledged the challenges the poultry industry has faced, but praised its ongoing growth and resilience. There has been a worrying rise in reports of sexual offenses in St. Catherine North. The update came from Senior Superintendent Hopeton Nicholson, who addressed the issue while visiting St. John's Primary School in Spanish Town, the school where 9-year-old Kelsey Ferrigan was a student.
Now, while murder is down in the St. Catherine North Division by 32%, we are really grieving with the school family and the family of little Kelsey. We welcome the decrease in murders and shootings, but we realize that so far this year, the reports of sexual offenses compared to last year has been on the increase, and that's the reports. And I just want to clarify, a lot of these reports, the incident took place a year or 2 years ago, but the reports are just coming in to us as persons are now confident to report them.
He says most of those accused of sexual assault are either close relatives or trusted family friends of the victims.
What is disturbing is that majority of the perpetrators identified so far this year are persons who are supposed to be the protectors of the victims. We're talking about fathers, we're talking about grandfathers, uncles, cousins, family friends, and other caregivers. These are the small majority of the persons who we have arrested and charged for sexual offenses of females. We're talking about minors and adults.
The commanding officer is urging Jamaicans to report any suspicions they may have of children being abused.
We want to implore parents and guardians to be extremely vigilant. We also implore citizens to report any suspicion of abuse with regards to children and ensure that you tell the police the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. A parent was recently arrested and charged of failing to report child abuse which was known to her. Now she's before the court.
SSP Nicholson says the police will continue to undertake public education on legislation surrounding the sexual abuse of children.
We, the police, we have committed to play our part, not just by enforcing the laws after the fact, but we will continue to do a lot of public education in partnership with other stakeholders on topics such as the Child Care Protection Act, the Cybercrimes Act, the Offences Against the Person Act, which includes sexual offences, and many relevant applicable laws and regulations.
Time now for the Business Report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, here to bring you the story shaping the financial world and guiding your journey to smarter business decisions. Let's dive into the top headlines. Jamaican energy company Tropical Battery has announced its additional public offer seeking 2.09 billion Jamaican dollars from investors. The offer opens next week. The company is seeking subscription of 954,545,455 ordinary shares with the ability to upsize to 1,122,994,652 shares, priced at $1.87 per share. The APO opens May 22nd and is scheduled to close on June 6th. Sagicor Investment and NCB Capital Markets are the brokers engaged by Tropical Battery. Victoria Mutual Building Society has approved a US $20 million loan to Proven Properties for the completion of its latest Bahari project in Runaway Bay, St. Anne. Bahari, a joint venture between Skillex Development Limited and Proven Properties, is an aspirational gated community offering a mix of villas, townhomes, and condominiums, all thoughtfully designed with modern amenities such as a resort-style swimming pool, gym, jogging trails, clubhouse with an on-site medic station, and smart, eco-friendly home features. Listed companies continue to release their earnings for relevant financial periods. Jamaica Fiberglass Products Limited unaudited financials for the first quarter ending March 31, 2025 reports an 88% decline in 3 months net profit. Up next, Honey Bun Limited unaudited financials for the 6 months ending March 31, 2025 report 6 months net profit of $121.24 million. And Sagicor Group Jamaica Limited unaudited financials for the first quarter ending March 31, 2025 reports a 296% jump in 3 months net profit. For the trading period ending May 13, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Toll road operator Trans Jamaica Highway Limited with 10,284,790 units traded, representing 42.03% of market sales volume. Alternative energy provider Wigton Energy Limited with 4,326,105 units traded, representing 17.68% of market sales volume. Online education provider One-on-One Educational Services Limited with 2,606,099 units traded, representing 10.65% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On May 13, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US $79.03 million purchased and US $72.52 million sold by Forex traders. Forex traders earned $1.36 per dollar, selling the US at $159.92 and buying the US at $158.56. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders $6.39 per transaction, with selling at $115.94 and buying at $109.55. The British pound yielded Forex traders $1.58 in profits, with selling at $211.64 and buying at $210.06. For our credit report tip of the day, one of the most overlooked tools in your financial toolkit is your credit score, a quiet indicator of how you handle responsibility, risk, and reliability. And when it's time to present your business idea to investors or bankers, that number can speak volumes before you ever say a word. Whether you're launching a new venture or scaling an existing one, how you manage your personal finances plays a powerful role in how others perceive your business potential. Here are some suggestions from expert financial advisors. A higher credit score qualifies you for premium business credit cards. Better cards offer higher limits, cashback, and financial flexibility to grow your company. Another idea is to use your credit score to help you negotiate better terms. With strong credit, you're in a better position to negotiate loan terms, vendor contracts, and leases. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial decision is a step forward to your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
In regional news, a bold new vision for the region's digital future has been unveiled by Trinidad and Tobago's new Public Administration and Artificial Intelligence Minister. Speaking at a major regional conference, the minister outlined plans that could reshape how Caribbean nations connect, communicate, and collaborate, with wide-reaching implications for public services, technology, and regional unity.
At his first international conference since taking office, the new Minister of Public Administration and Artificial Intelligence, Dominic Smith, outlined a bold digital vision for the country and the wider Caribbean. Speaking at the Caribbean Spectrum Management Conference at the Hyatt Regency, he addressed everything from 5G networks and AI to regional collaboration. Minister Smith said it's time for Trinidad and Tobago and the region to lead the way in embracing cutting-edge technology like 5G, AI, and the Internet of Things. He's also proposing a digital upgrade for everyday services, including free-to-air TV, education, and disaster relief using advanced broadcasting systems.
A third endeavor might be to revolutionize the experiences for our free-to-air viewers, education recipients, and disaster relief agencies through the adoption of digital terrestrial television using ATSC 3.0 technology.
The minister said managing the radio frequency spectrum, the invisible resource that powers our wireless world, is critical. He reminded delegates that small island states like Trinidad and Tobago face double pressure, climate change, and limited resources.
Global warming and the threats presented to Caribbean countries, and of course the resource constraints due to these harsh economic conditions typically faced by small island developing states.
Smith also pushed for regional unity in how countries manage spectrum, saying collaboration can bring real economic benefits and reduce interference across borders.
Let's address regional harmonization as crucial. because as a region of diverse nations, unique geographical challenges, and I believe shared ambitions, the Caribbean stands to gain immensely from a unified approach to spectrum management. It reduces interference as well as ensures efficient resource use and fosters a more integrated telecommunications industry and market.
Migrants from Venezuela in Guyana, many with children enrolled in schools, are benefiting from the education grants currently being distributed in the country. The distribution of the Because We Care student grants commenced on Monday in Regions 7 and 9.
Deodat Diochand, a Guyanese father who returned from Venezuela with his 3 daughters and wife, told the newsroom on Monday that it has been challenging to adjust to life in Guyana. After living in Venezuela for almost 2 decades, he returned to Guyana in 2022. Diochand said his daughters speak Spanish and this makes interactions in school difficult.
The language we teach them, but they train and they're doing a good effort. She writing sexy, but she trying. This is the first time I receiving a cash grant. Before was them order.
With more distribution sites and teachers on the ground assisting, the Ministry of Education has made efforts to make the distribution of the Because We Care student grants smoother. Education Minister Priya Manik-Chan visited schools in Region 7, and she noted the turnout of persons who migrated from Venezuela and have children enrolled in schools. She said the student grant is for every student in the school system, and how the cash is utilized to benefit these students is to be determined by the parents.
Once your children are registered, each and every child will get this grant in this country. It's important to note that we have Venezuelans who have children in school, whether they're with Guyanese parentage or not.
This year, the grant was increased to $50,000, and the student's uniform voucher is $5,000, making the overall amount $55,000 that each student will receive. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Lozini Yearwood.
In St. Lucia, the Ministry of Education will host the 4th Caribbean Safe Schools Initiative Ministerial Forum on School Safety from May 14th to May 15th. The forum is titled Enhanced Collaboration and Action Towards School Safety in the Caribbean. Regional education ministers, disaster risk experts, and development partners are scheduled to discuss strengthening school safety measures throughout the Caribbean.
The issue of school safety has resurfaced following reports of a parent brandishing a weapon at a student over alleged bullying, drawing strong condemnation from officials. This incident comes as the 4th Caribbean Safe Schools Initiative Ministerial Forum on School Safety is scheduled to take place May 14th to 15th at the Harbour Club. The forum will address the increasing threats facing Caribbean schools and their impact on safety strategies. Kendall Kodra, Acting Permanent Secretary in the Education Ministry, highlighted the growing number of violent and bullying incidents in educational institutions.
These acts disrupt the learning process and erode the sense of safety and well-being that every child deserves in an educational environment. No student should feel threatened, excluded, or unsafe in a place meant for growth, discovery, and development. As educators, policymakers, planners, school safety officers, focal points, we have a moral obligation to act. We must implement comprehensive strategies, including prevention programs, clear anti-bullying policies, and student support mechanisms that foster a culture of respect, inclusion, and accountability in our schools.
Building more resilient learning environments during crisis is also a key topic on the agenda for the upcoming education gathering.
Our schools must be safe, secure, and prepared, not only to protect lives, but to ensure learning continues in times of crisis. As focal points, you are the champions of this mission at the national level. You bring experience, dedication, and local context that are essential to translating our regional vision into meaningful action.
Education officials also voiced concerns about developing a more resilient education sector in the face of unpredictable weather events.
This urgent issue is one that is no longer a distant threat. It is a present and growing reality affecting our schools and education systems year after year, and more so within the recent years. From rising temperatures and prolonged droughts to more intense hurricanes and flooding, these unpredictable climate events disrupt school operations, damage infrastructure, and jeopardize both student safety and learning continuity. Many of our schools are very ill. Some of us, we know that quite well, and they lack the structural resilience to withstand these shocks, making recovery both difficult and costly. It is therefore imperative that we integrate climate adaptation and disaster risk reduction in all aspects of our education planning. While we may not be able to control these forces, we must ask ourselves, what can we do to build not only stronger school buildings, but a more resilient education system as a whole?
In sports, we look to cricket. Cricket West Indies has named a 15-player squad for the West Indies women's upcoming white ball series against England, scheduled from May 21st to June 8th, 2025. The tour will feature 3 T20 internationals, followed by 3 one-day internationals at various venues across England. Nasira Mohammed has details.
Hayley Matthews continues as captain, leading a side that combines experienced performers with emerging talent, as the team looks to rebound from their recent appearance in the ICC Women's World Cup qualifiers in Pakistan. There are 2 changes from the squad that played in the qualifiers. Young Guyanese all-rounder Ria Liana Grimond and Kittish pacer Jazara Claxton have been brought in, replacing Jamaican duo Rashida Williams and Chanel Henry. Director of Cricket Miles Bascom said, the timing of the regional T20 Blaze tournament has been ideal, offering players critical match practice and helping them remain in top form. He noted that CWI remains focused on strengthening the women's cricket program and sees this tour as a meaningful step in that developmental process. Head coach Shane Dietz expressed enthusiasm about the opportunity to take on a strong England side, noting it will be a real test of the team's growth. He stressed the importance of translating their off-field planning into on-field execution and hopes to start the series strongly, particularly in the T20 internationals, where the team has shown solid form over the past year. Dietz added that the players have been training diligently since the qualifiers in Pakistan and have benefited from game time at home. Now, with international cricket ahead, he believes the tour is a key moment for the team to re-establish itself among the world's top contenders and deliver competitive performances that will make fans across the Caribbean proud.
And that's it for the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. And remember, we are the People's Station.